Been a pattern for the last 2 years or so. Once these girls have, they say my fiance, it's a wrap on anything that the dude does is stupid, any kind of abuse, any.
Well, hope you guys like we finally did a new intro because I got tired of that one from 2020. When did I do that one? 21, 22, something. It had all kind of old information on it. This was getting embarrassing. So I finally set my butt down and made a new one. So I hope you enjoyed that. That's our new intro for the time being until I get a bee in my bonnet and decide to do another one. Yeah, I missed a couple of, I don't know, that sickness I had, where I didn't really eat for 9 days. I just didn't have the energy. I know I laid down to take a nap. When I woke up, it was 8:30, and I was like, oops. So I was like, well, we'll just move it. And every day I had to keep moving because I was still tired. But here we go. I think I finally turned the corner, and I'm well enough now that I have some energy into the evening. Yes, I'm happy too, Lauren. I'm telling you, it was rough. It was rough. But that's what happens when you get old. Shit starts breaking down. You just like you go to bed fine and then you wake up all kinds of fucked up. And you didn't even do anything. I don't know if I'd be beating myself up in my sleep or something. I don't know what's going on. But there you go. That's the story. I'm sticking to it. We have 26 questions this week, so let's get started. Let us begin. Question number 1. This is a young lady, 22 to 27, from Pueblo, Colorado. Summary of issue: when the guy who says he doesn't want a relationship ends up in a relationship with the next girl he dates after you, it hurts. Okay, well, let's see. I mean, I have all kinds of thoughts going through my big head, but let's see what you said. It just stings. This has happened to me a few times where I'll date a guy for a couple of months and then he breaks things off because he's not looking for anything serious. Then shortly after, he'll resurface with a whole girlfriend. I know it means he wasn't the one for me anyway, but it still hurts, to not be the one who that gets chosen. I'm trying to just focus on myself and not crash out about it. It sucks though. This is more of an event than anything. But if you have observations or ideas that can help prevent this from happening again, I'm all ears. Well, I mean, I've said this many, many times, every dude that you date is not going to be like a commitment. And if you two haven't decided that it's going to be something serious, then you keep dating other people. I don't understand you girls who just want to devote all your time and energy into one dude at a time. I mean, what the fuck is that? It's like you're treating him like he's your committed boyfriend when he hasn't made that kind of commitment. And then you want to get all in your feelings about it and say, oh, it hurts, it sucks. They just feel so wrong. You did that to yourself, but you're stupid. Your dating policy is ass backwards. You're single until you're married. And until you agree with some clown that y'all is only going to see each other. I mean, this is a full conversation. So, what's on the table, what the expectations are, what the rules are, what the boundaries are, how long this is going to last before you move to the next level. I mean, all of that should be part of the conversation. If you don't have that kind of conversation with a man, that ain't your man. That's not your boyfriend. You don't have no kind of commitment with him. You don't owe him shit. You can date and sleep with and go wherever you want to with other men because you're single. I don't know how many times I have to keep saying this. It's like you girls just don't get it. You just don't freaking understand. It's like you're more afraid of some dude saying, well, you're a garden tool, you are this, you are that, than you are in living your life in a way that's going to work best for you. You do not put everything else in your life on hold about some clown just because you seeing him. Because then this is the shit that happens. He decides, well, that's you not what I'm looking for, whatever. But when did he ever say that you were? Because see, if that had happened, then you would know what page you're on. Not like those relationships don't break up either. But I mean, you living your life on a maybe, on a whim, on a hope, and a prayer, instead of on a solid conversation where you two agreed to something. And then, of course, you can unagree, but still it's mutual, it's mature, and you've had a conversation about it. This kind of stuff where you just go bounce from man to man, hoping that it means something without that conversation and those kind of commitments and agreements in place, then, you're just being stupid. Like I said, this is what you're experiencing here is 155% your own fault. So do better. Okay, handle yourself better when you're out here dealing with these clowns. Yeah, she may have, because in the bottom line, if they don't want you, then you shouldn't want them, because any relationship has to be, mutual interest and mutual regard, mutual respect, and mutual commitment. If you don't have it, if it's one-sided, then it's nothing you should be looking at and missing anyway. Let's move on to question number 2. This is a young lady in the 28 to 34 age group from Manchester, England. Summary of issue. I'm having the moving in together blues. Oh, I just noticed that Giggles is here and Leandra. Oh my God. My life was happy until I saw that. So she says, my boyfriend is very unorganized. His room is messy, not dirty, but messy. He doesn't naturally pick up dishes right after finishing a meal on normal days. He's a bad grocery shopper too. He wants me to move in with him, but I do not feel the confidence. I feel like by not moving in with him, I am just delaying the consequences. We adore each other and we feel butterflies for each other. I really love him, but moving in together scares me. On the contrary, when we go out to friends' place for dinner and we have friends over at our respective places, he always takes out the dishes, gets water refill, or refills everybody's glasses. He would right away wipe the wine spill on the table and always keeps a coaster below a cold drink. He pays attention and remembers everybody's allergies and preferences. He is also very considerate, which is an important criterion for me to have fallen in love with him. And I consider moving in with him as a next step in the relationship, but I do not have the confidence. I spoke to my best friends about it and I got two different reactions. Two of them laughed at me saying I'm being unreasonable, and the other two have met my boyfriend, told me that I should trust him on this, as he seems like he would happily make these changes for me. So I'm here asking you and the ladies who are more experienced and or knowledgeable, what do you think? Thank you so much. This is time for you. You over there talking to everybody about the situation with your relationship and your boyfriend, except your boyfriend. Now, please explain this to me. Please tell me how this makes a lick of sense. The one that you should be talking to is dude, and say, I noticed that when there's other people, you do blank, 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 and blank, X, Y, and Z. But if it's just you at your house, then it's this, and this other thing. And if I'm moving in with you and you do this, and this other thing here, that's gonna drive me crazy and get me right back up out of here. So you need to understand, if I move in, I expect you to pick up after yourself and clean the dishes and not be a pig, like I'm living in a pig pen. If that's the only way that you feel comfortable in your house, then I need to stay in my house. We can still date each other and stuff, but we will not move in together. And the other thing you should be asking him is, what does moving in together really mean? I mean, how are you going to divide the bills, responsibilities? You know, who's car? Does everybody have a car? You gonna be expecting to use yours, or you gonna be expecting to use his? I mean, what is the lay of the land? I mean, so many couples skip this step, and so then they just move in together like all happy and stuff, but they haven't really talked about anything, and then they get blindsided when reality hits them. This is the time to figure all that out. Iron all this out and write it out. Who's gonna be responsible for what chores? When? What's the time frame? Weekly chores. You guys gonna alternate? I mean, what are you going to do? How are you going to handle this? And figure it all out, put it in writing, and you both sign it. Okay, that's the only mature and responsible way to do something like this. So, have a conversation with dude. You don't want to move in with him without having had this discussion. And you, like I said, you making all these observations and talking to your friends and even talking to me. That's not going to help you. The person that you're in a relationship with is him. And that's where you need to get these answers from. Question number 3. This is a female 18. We got 26 questions for those of you who like to keep track. Hopefully you got to see my new the new show intro. It debuted today. If you missed it, you can go back and watch the recording and see it yourself. So she's 18 to 21 from Everett, Washington. How do I get over my friend's confession? It's been a while since my friend asked me out, and I rejected him because I think we wouldn't work out as a couple. I'm 18 and he is 19. He did a really bad confession, and so the aftermath of that was quite harsh, and we didn't talk for a while. But overall, he's really a great guy, and I consider him a close friend. So I find myself missing him a lot, especially since we just parted ways after graduation. Is there any chance of us being friends again after this? I don't know how to talk to him again without giving hope for any kind of romantic relationship. If not, then how do I get over losing a friend? Well, your mouth wrote a check that your ass has to cash now. I mean, this is part of growing up. You're 18 years old. Get the fuck over it. You made an adult decision not to move forward in a relationship with him. So own it. That's part of, this adulting. You decide something, you live with the repercussions of that decision. You can't make a decision and then go backpedaling, trying to figure out a way to get what you want out of somebody when you know that they feel a certain way out of you. For you to offer friendship with him would be the most disrespectful shit you could ever do. This man does not want to be your friends. He made that quite clear. So it's either be his girlfriend like he wants, or you be nothing like you want. There's no compromise here. There's no in the middle. He can't be friends with you, and that's not what he's trying to do. So you stop thinking about trying to be friends, because that's basically a selfish need where you're trying to still have him in your life in a way that makes you happy and just basically fuck his feelings. That's basically what you're saying. And so I want you to think about this from his perspective. What benefit would he get from having you hanging around his life, knowing he wants more from you and knowing that he's not going to get it? You just want to put yourself in a position to torture him and just be cruel for no reason. Go get some other male friend if that's what you want. You're gonna be headed off to college. You can be friends with tons of dudes there, and they gonna like someone who's gonna like you too, and then you're gonna run into the same situation. So this is just the beginning. You're only 18. This is gonna happen for at least the next 10 or 15 years, where you're gonna be the man, and he's gonna want more, and you're gonna not want more because you're not feeling him that way. So just get used to it. This is just the first time, but it's not gonna be the last if this happens. And you cannot offer them friendship. That's bullshit. And I don't know why women even do that. It's like you just put yourself and him in a very awkward position. Don't do it. Just make a clean break. You're not friends, and you're not boyfriend, girlfriends either. Because friendship is not what he wants from you. And you know it. So stop this. Question number 4. This is a female, 20 to 34. She's African American from Louisville, Kentucky. Summary of issue. My boyfriend made a racially derogatory joke at my expense, and I don't know how to process his reaction. Oh boy. Okay. So I'm a black 30-year-old woman. I'm dating a 32-year-old white guy. Recently, he made a racially derogatory quote joke directed at me. We've been together for 8 months, by the way. My first reaction was shock. Like, why are you saying anything mean to your partner in the name of humor, let alone something racially charged? When I brought up that it was messed up, his first reaction was not an apology. Instead, he told me that some people like quote dark humor end quote, and he did not think it would be a big deal or that I would react that way. Only after that did he say, "But if you're offended, then yeah, I'm sorry." This was especially upsetting because he is always so critical of the way I apologize. He constantly says that if he hurt someone, his first instinct would be to immediately say, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." Show empathy and move forward without trying to justify himself. But when it actually mattered, he led with justification. He also compared it to his past relationships and friendships with black friends, saying that they would not have cared. I told him that is irrelevant. That's about me, not other people. Good for you. He insisted he was not justifying, just explaining. I told him, then let your apology be what it is. I don't need your explanation. Then he said, "Well, I hope you know I'm not racist. I would think you know me better than that." That completely minimized the situation. I explained it's not about whether I think he's racist. It's about the fact that he made a mean, racially charged joke at his girlfriend's expense. At that point, I felt really disheartened. It became more about him protecting his image, quote, "I can't believe you think badly of me," end quote, than about being accountable and actually sorry. I ended the call with, "Okay, I need to get back to work. Bye." He immediately called back saying, "No, I love you." I neutrally said, "Okay, love you too." Then he reacted with, "Wow, wow, okay, I'm just going to let you go." So instead of taking accountability, it turned into him finding ways to make himself the victim because I did not respond in a warm or emotional way after being hurt. Later that night, he texted me saying he remembered making a commitment to call me at night, so he just wanted to check if I wanted him to reach out if I needed space. I was already asleep, so the next morning I texted, "Good morning, hon. I was already asleep, but some space would be nice." He just replied, "Understood." So now what? Well, I don't know. See, maybe it's me, and I know you're young. Let me think how, let me figure, I forgot how much you said. Oh, you're not that young. You're 28 to 34. So that means he's in that age group too, although you didn't put his age. See, I'm of the mind that, at that age, basically around 30 years old, we know what we should and shouldn't say. We know when some shit is some bullshit. We know when we trying to slide, slick, little, put down or innuate racially charged, what you call it, racially charged microaggression into a conversation and then turn around and justify it when we get called out on it. We know all these things. We already know this. So, see, for me, this relationship would be over. Once I told him he needed to apologize and he started instead justifying it and doubling down, he would have got cussed the fuck out and then fired on the spot. So see, I can't, when these kind of questions come in and you girls stay in the relationship, basically what you have done then is accepted disrespect because he never really apologized, not sincerely. It was some bullshit half-ass. Well, if you're offended, so he makes it sound like, you're the one that's wrong, but since you're wrong, I apologize anyway, kind of thing. It wasn't a heartfelt, I realize I did wrong, I'll never hurt you like that again kind of apology. So to me, he's on some bullshit and I would not be bothered with him ever again. But see, you're staying there, talking about it's calling him hun and all this old stuff here. You should have been like texting him saying, "Oh, good morning, motherfucker. I was asleep, but some space from your fucking racist ass would be really nice." That was the text that you should have sent. And then like the space is gonna last for months, maybe even into years. So let's just consider this over so we don't even waste each other's time. That's the text you should have sent. But see, by giving him the situation, basically you're leaving the door open for the relationship to continue, even though this man has blatantly disrespected you in a racial way. So then I have to turn around and ask you, what kind of bullshit are you on that you think it's okay for some white dude to talk to you like that? And you gonna stay, you gonna sleep with him and kiss and hug him and hold his hand and all this kind of shit after he done said something nasty like that to you? See, I'm trying to figure out where your self-esteem is and your pride as a black woman. This kind of shit here should never go down. It's bad enough when black men do it. But you can always turn around and talk about his mother. Anything he says about you can say about his mama, his daughters, his exes, his baby mama, his sisters. I mean, because they black women too. So he can't be too far from the charge. But you talking about some white dude, and he's gonna be talking about you as a black woman, and you gonna sit there and take it? Please. Yeah, it's not a joke. He did that shit on purpose just to see if you would take it, to test you. And so far, you're failing. So I want you to rethink this and reframe this and think about if some dude says what he said to your daughter, how you would feel about it. And then whatever way you feel about it, that's how you need to feel about this man telling you that way. And you need to dig in his ass with both feet and then put him in the wind. Okay? See, on some bullshit. And so are you actually. Let's move on. That pissed me off. Question number 5. This is a male 20 to 34 from Charleston, South Carolina. Summary of issue. I only give women one chance to be exclusive. What are your thoughts on this plan? Wait, what? Is it wrong of me to only give women one chance to be exclusive? Whenever I ask a woman if she wants to be exclusive, which could be as soon as 3 dates, this only happened once though, or as far as a few months in, I only give them one chance to respond and that's it. To me, anything that's not a yes is a rejection. Like, even if they say they need to think about it, that's it for me. If they say no, but maybe later, that's it as well. I did this for the last 2 women I've been seeing. So you're asking me, what do I think about your plan? I think it's stupid. First of all, because, people, and this is the reality, people move at different speeds. Some people are instant and like they know the second they lay eyes on you that you're it. They might not tell you, but they know in their heart. They might start telling their friends, tell their mama, oh, I met the one I'm gonna marry. She might tell her friends, I met the dude I'm gonna, So they know they have this like innate knowing, but does that mean they're gonna act on it? Doesn't mean they're gonna tell you? Absolutely not. So, people move it, and the person on the other side might need, a few months to get to that same point where they feel that kind of knowing. So, and a lot of it also depends on how many times a week or month you guys see each other. How often do you talk on the phone? What kind of conversations do you have? These are all things that would impact the person's development of an emotional attachment to you and their comfort level. To how well do they feel they know you? How well do they feel can they trust you? This kind of thing. So if you're not, just because a woman just not moving at the speed that you're moving at, you just want to immediately fire. I mean, you can do that. I mean, that's your right and your prerogative. But you ask me what our thoughts are, and I think it's stupid. I think you should, instead of just asking them like that, you should say, I'm thinking about heading in the direction of making this a serious relationship. Before you put them on the spot, say you're thinking about, the possibilities, and say, would that be something that you might be interested in, or do you, still want to see other people? And then you can gauge where they are, how slow they're moving. You don't know, like sometimes it's like somebody coming out of a relationship and they have to heal from that. They might have, be dealing with the death of a parent or a close friend or something, and they're still grieving. That's going to impact their ability to move into a new relationship as well. Maybe there's some other lifestyle stresses. They're getting over illness. They were unemployed for a while. They just started a new job. They're trying to find, I mean, there's so many things that could impact a woman. Look, since you're a guy, a woman's, ability to relax and start to really get into the relationship. As you're trying to put everybody on your clock. And so I'm telling you that that's a very stupid way for you to think. And that's why your ass is still single. So, and you're going to stay that way. Because you just don't not dealing with the real world. You have thinking everybody's living according to your clock and your time frame and your wishes and dreams and stuff. And life ain't like that, homie. You need to get over it. Good Lord, my goodness. Sometimes these people just make me tired. Question number 6. This is a young lady, 42 to 49. She's mixed race, an Aquarius from Rhode Island. The other female he's talking about is 22 to 27, mixed race Scorpio. Aquarius and Scorpio. Summary of issue: manipulative daughter. Dad, what do you think about a grown child refusing to take their parent to a local nearby corner store to get money at the ATM after staying at the parent's house with their new fiance, who didn't even bring a gift from the dollar store, at least upon first meeting them, and eating all the parents' food, 2 weeks worth, in just a few days? So they came to your house, they didn't bring nothing, they ate all your 2 weeks worth of food in a few days, and then refused to take you to the store to get some more money. Okay, I just want to sum this up. But this grown child does everything for everyone else, including their deadbeat father, who didn't pop back up in their lives until this kid was grown, but won't even help out the parent they admit lovingly raised them, and wouldn't even give them a ride to the store, knowing that their parent just came out of a painful surgery. Even their fiance looked shocked, especially since they said they themselves were close to and cared for their own mom. Well, I would be wondering why mom is having these leeches staying in her house, and why mom hasn't called the police to tell them to get them the fuck up out of her house. Well, she went with her and her boyfriend. That's 4 legs. But I would tell them that they're not going to contribute anything. They need to get out, and they got till the end of next week or something like that to get the fuck out of my house. And then promptly upon them doing that, I would change all the locks, and probably knowing me, change my number as well, because I don't want them coming to my house. You ain't getting in, and don't even call me. But the fact that you're sitting here writing this letter to whine about it instead of taking action tells me a lot. I know you just got out of a surgery, but that don't have nothing to do with your mouth. See, the mouth is the part that I'm talking about. They'll be like, fuck you, bitch, get the hell out of my house. Take you and your raggedy, useless boyfriend, and both of you motherfuckers get out. See, that didn't even stress me to say that. My blood pressure, my heart rate didn't change. My breathing didn't change. Nothing changed. But everybody ain't me. I understand that. But no, this wouldn't work for me. This wouldn't go down like this. So that's what I think about it, that you should be tossed out on their ass so they can get their own money at the ATM. Question 7. This is a female, 22 to 27. She's Caucasian. Pisces from Pompano Beach, Florida. Summer issue. Is it bad that I don't want to name my daughter after my fiance's dead girlfriend? Wait, what? Who, who would do that? That's kind of creepy. I'm 23 and met my fiance, who is now 27, when I was 19 and in college, and that was 4 years ago. I'm currently 7 months pregnant. We are having a planned pregnancy, and our daughter is due in October. How you have a planned pregnancy and your ass is not married? What is this with breeding all these miscellaneous random ass kids that y'all be doing? My fiance had a high school sweetheart who he dated in freshman year of high school until his sophomore year in college. She died of breast cancer. I never knew her, but in the beginning of our relationship, he never failed to mention how she was such a beautiful person. He has admitted to me that he always wanted to marry her and imagined them having children together. He loves me so much and has always been a great partner. But recently, we were on the topic of baby names. I am mixed Ivorian, does it mean from the Ivory Coast, maybe? And Brazilian. That's pretty exotic sounding. And my fiance is from Costa Rica. I was thinking of the name Antonia, but was definitely open to other options. He suggested we name our daughter after his ex. Not a middle name, not a Gracie Ann, like with a hyphen kind of thing, where you have two hyphenated names, but her first name. His ex's name is very unique and not something common where it could be nicknamed differently or not directly be a tribute to her. I believe her name is a cultural name as well, and neither of us are from that culture. I told him I'd be fine with it being her middle name or a nickname even, but he told me he really wants to make her name his ex's. I would like to make it clear that I have nothing against the idea of naming kids after lost loved ones, but just not my first baby. I have a strong feeling that our daughter is going to look just like me, which will make it even more awkward. He just came home from work and is in a really good mood. I feel tense writing this next to him. How should I tell him that I'm not interested in doing this? Let me see, where are you again? I forgot. Pompano Beach, Florida. Well, I don't know what the rules are in Florida, but here in California, the mother signs a birth certificate. So the mother decides the name, and the mother signs the birth certificate, and daddy can sign if he want to, but it's not really necessary. The mother's the one the baby came out of, and so that's under the law, that's her kid, and they don't give a fuck about anybody else. So, um, yeah, check into what the rules are in Florida. This might be a non-issue where you don't even have to talk about it with them. Just when they come to give you the birth certificate to sign, you sign the name that you want it to be, sign your signature to the thing, and it gets filed with the state, county, and the state, and then it's a wrap. And then he can call the kid whatever he wants to. But it won't be her official name. It won't be on her birth certificate. It won't be on her school records. It won't be on no diplomas. It won't be on her driver's license. It won't be on any official documentation. It will be the name that you selected. But if it were me, I don't know, I'm just so outspoken and plain, just so blunt. "What's happening, Angel?" I would just say to him, "I know this woman meant a lot to you and everything, but that only matters to you. We never met her, and my kid never met her. And no, we're not going to name our baby after some dead bitch. I'm sorry that that happened and you really heard about it, but I really don't give a fuck. She died before I even met you, and so you just going to deal with it. Grieve in whatever way you want to. Get you a dog and name the dog after her. But I'm not going to name my kid after that dead bitch. And that's just the way that it's going to be." And he would just be mad and be like all horrified and put out and stuff. And I would just be looking at him. Like, I didn't carry this baby 9 months to be naming it after some dead bitch. You tripping. You are absolutely out your rabbit ass mind. That's what you are. That's just not gonna happen. And so then he would just be sad, but then he'd get over it because he would understand very clearly how I felt about it. So you dancing around it and being all nice. That's what I'm saying. The ex is dead. She died of breast cancer or something. And he married, he's not married. It's gonna be a baby mama situation. But they've been together for a minute and she having a baby by him. and he want to name the baby after some dead bitch. You're like, no, that's so not gonna happen. You tripping. Get over it. Go take yourself to grief counseling or something. Or like I said, get you a dog or a parrot or something that could talk to you. But it's not gonna be my kid. Not the one that I carry. I don't even know what to say. Question number 8. This is a male, 22 to 27. He's African American and Gemini from Antioch, California. Summer issue. My girlfriend has rage episodes where she says hurtful stuff. How do I handle this without her feeling unloved? Why do you need to worry about? Yeah, because parents will talk to you. They have a whole conversation. They just because they listen to what you say, and then they they can answer back. You say like, "Hi, hi." They can now be like, "Fuck you, fuck you." I parents are a trip. So anyway, so his girlfriend feels he don't want her to feel unloved. That'll be on the top of my agenda because whatever way she made me feel, I believe in that match energy thing. I've been with my girlfriend for a while. We're both 23. Most of the time, things are amazing. She's loving and supportive, but sometimes she has these sudden rage episodes. Well, she'll say such shit like, "This is shit love." Oh, she sounds like my twin. Fuck this relationship. Why do you even love me? Let's split up. He put bullet points by all of those. The thing is, there isn't even an actual issue. It just happens suddenly and randomly. When it happens, I try to stay calm and I tell her there's no need to talk like that. We can still discuss things without using those kind of words. But her response is usually, "Listen to me. You don't tell me what to do. If you don't like it, find someone else. If you can't handle me like this, that's a big problem." Yesterday, I told her I don't want her to talk like that, even when she's angry. Later, she said it makes her sad because she feels like I only love the good part of her, not the bad, and that I can't handle her the way she is. I love her good and bad, but I also feel there's a difference between loving someone fully versus accepting toxic behavior that hurts the relationship. How do I reassure her that I love her completely without accepting the kind of language as part of her? You don't. You match energy. Like I said, okay, let us go over her speech. This is shit love. You right, because everything that comes away from your direction is definitely shit. Fuck this relationship. That's right, and fuck you too. Why do you even love me? I don't. I'm just here for the entertainment value, and even that's losing its shine. Let's split up. Agreed. Pack your shit and get the fuck out then. I'm tired of you talking about it. Let's see you do it. See, that would be me. I don't like people. Don't threaten me. Don't threaten me because I'm gonna call you a bluff. And then, but she's like, "Listen to me, you don't tell me what to do," and all this kind of stuff. If you can't handle me like this, nobody want to be handling your ass. What did you like a lion in a cage? Something. I mean, get out of here with that. No man wants to be having with a woman that he has a quote handle. Grow the fuck up and act like an adult. Why don't you? Stop all these temper tantrums. This is some bullshit. It's making me fall out of love with you. You're gonna do it one day, to one time too many, and this shit here is gonna be over. Because I'm getting tired of it. It's boring. So you need to talk to her like that and pull her up short because basically what you're doing is she acts a fool and then you placate her. So she has more motivation to act a fool because she gets something out of it, which is your attention and placated and coddled and all this kind of stuff here. You need to stop doing that. When she acts a fool, you act a bigger one. And then she'll soon pipe down. What's up, Maggie? I don't understand this kind of stuff. I just worked. What did he throw at me? Well, I mean, not necessarily at me, but basically went in my direction. But I think he wasn't really aiming at me. But it crashed on the wall behind me, and I picked up one of his figurines that was at his house, and I threw it. I did throw it at him, and he dipped, and it crashed into the wall behind him. And after that, he never threw shit else in my direction. I think some kind of intimidation tactic where they think it's going to scare people. And whatever it was I picked up and threw was something he really liked. He was sad. It's like, well, you shouldn't have threw shit at me because I just reached and got the first thing that was nearby. Whether it had been metal, glass, brass, I wouldn't really care, but it was coming for you. That's all I know. It was coming at you, just like you threw some shit at me. So after that, he was cool. He was chill. He probably thought about it a couple of times and then said, no, all my shit get broke up because she going to be flinging stuff at me. That's not going to be good. But yeah, this lady, she tripping. I can't have people talk to me crazy like that. Let's move on. We got 26 questions. Those of you who came late, you missed my new intro. First one in about 4 years, maybe longer. I don't remember. But anyway, I finally updated it. New music, new graphics, the whole thing. You can go back and check it out. I might play it again just for something to do because I like it myself. So, question number 9. This is a female 20 to 34. She's a Latina from Austin, Texas. The male's 20 to 34. He's Caucasian. Summary issue: how to ask a guy what we are. Oh my God. So, I've been speaking to this guy for 6 weeks over text and calls every day. We have met only 3 times. So, 3 times in 6 weeks, that's once every 2 weeks. Okay. We both have children from previous relationships and jobs, so time's hard to see him. We have had Nook Nook, but he says he wants more. But we only have Nook Nook and cuddle, no dates. Oh, he slept over each time. How do I ask him what we are and where we are going? God, you're dumb. I tried to ask before and it got weird and I never got an answer. Help, I'm really starting to like him. I don't think I can do casual Nook Nook. Well, you're already doing casual Nook Nook. You're doing even worse than casual Nook Nook. You just a layup. He don't take you out. He don't buy you nothing. He don't do nothing for you. He come over and he gets free ass at your house so that you don't have to get a babysitter. And your kids are seeing this. And you having this rando man all up in your house at night over your kids. I don't know what you're thinking. See, this is how kids get SA'd because they have stupid mothers that's desperate for some dick. You, lady, need to get your shit together. This is stupid. You ain't nothing with this man. You just a booty call, okay? I'm sorry to hurt your feelings, but you need a reality check. Your booty call, which unfortunately a lot of guys see single mothers as, it's like a stereotype. If you go online, I mean, thousands of them. That's all they say, that's all that you are good for as a single mother. So you have to be very careful about the men that you involve yourself with, especially bringing them into your house over your children. A lot of these men are only looking for single mothers because they know that you're busy and you're tired and you're looking for somebody to kind of take some of that load off. It's easy to convince you to go take a nap or go somewhere to get your nails done or go hang out with your girlfriends, and while they watch your kids so that they have time alone with your kids. And you so stupid, you fall for it because you think that's a good thing and he likes your kids. Yeah, he does like your kids. He likes his kids more than he likes you. He only pretending to like you so he can get access to your kids. But your dumb ass trusts him and leaves him around the kids unsupervised. So this is, this is a message I think a lot of single mothers need to hear. You all don't want to hear it because you say, well, why are people picking on us like that? I'm not the one who made that rule. I'm just telling you it exists. Okay. And you can fight it if you want to. But the best thing for you to do is be smart about it. If you don't want to have that kind of lifestyle, have that kind of risk and that kind of commitment on your time and energy, then get a termination or use birth control. You don't have kids, especially 2 or 3 of them, and then be, bed hopping with motherfuckers around, have a baby number 3, 4, and 5 because you just stupid. Okay, you're just dumb. So you need to get your shit together here in Austin, Texas. This man don't have no interest in you other than coming over and knocking the boots, as they say in Houston. That's it. Please get it together. This is very disturbing. And she's gonna ask, what are we and where is this going? It ain't going nowhere. You started on a mattress and that's where it's ending. Question number 10. This is a male, 20 to 34. He's mixed race from Calgary, Canada. Summary of issue: why does it feel like I can only go deep with, quote, emotional but unstable, end quote, women, while the more balanced ones feel closed off? I'm 30 years old and I've been dating actively for the past 5 years, always with the intention of finding something real and long term. I don't do hookups. And I noticed lately that this keeps repeating in my dating experience, colon, dash, with some women, usually the more balanced, emotional ones, I feel like I hit a wall. Things are fine, but I can't really open up or go deep in conversations. Or the second one, with other women, usually more emotional, neurotic types, I can go very deep very quickly, but that comes with instability, drama, or emotional chaos. It feels like I can't find both depth and stability in the same person. For context, I am artistic and sensitive guy, so yeah, maybe a bit neurotic myself, but I've learned to regulate my emotions well and keep myself balanced. I need depth, but in a constructive way, not in a way that drags everyone down. The way I explain this to myself is that yes, I've dated a lot, but probably still not enough. I still have to dig deeper and look harder, but maybe there's something I'm missing. So I'd be curious to hear your thoughts and perspective. Maybe some advice on how to sharpen the blade on dating apps. I do fine with I'm in person, but I prefer to look outside of my country, maybe because I'm mixed and also I work full time and I run a YouTube channel, so I don't have much time to go out. Thanks. Okay, so you're a mixed race person living in Canada and you can get deep with crazy, unstable, unbalanced, neurotic women, but and you like we're looking for somebody outside the country, and you can't go deep with women who are balanced and emotionally stable. This is very simple. What this is you have what they used to call in the 90s commitment phobia. So your mouth says that you're looking for something real and long term, but your behavior shows that you're not. You're terrified of it. That's why you feel like you can only get in deep with situations where you know it's not going to go anywhere. You know it's not going to go anywhere with these neurotic, crazy, unstable, chaotic women in those kind of relationships. You already know this. So it's very safe to feel like, well, I'm giving my all and I want more, but they're just mentally ill or they're wacko or some whack job. You chose the whack job and you did that intentionally. And it may be subconscious. I'm not saying you're thinking about it, but I'm saying subconsciously, you're looking for situations where you won't have to be challenged to commit and be real and vulnerable because you're picking women that where that will never happen. That also is not going to happen with somebody who lives in another country. Do you understand your patterns here? I picked up on it right away. You're terrified of really commitment, being emotionally vulnerable, being emotionally intimate. It terrifies you. And you can't even do a hookup. That's how closed off you are. I mean, not to say that that's a measure of anything great and wonderful, but I mean, it just shows how closed off you really are. You know, you need some couch time. I don't know what happened to you or when it happened, but you have some issues around intimacy, vulnerability, and commitment. And until you work those through, and the best time to do it is to get, ease into it while you're still in therapy. So as the issues come up, your therapist can help you work through them. And then you go back into, your dating and the issues will keep coming up. New things come up and you go back to your therapist and work through them. That's what you need. I can't help you, but definitely called out your pattern because it's just out there on Front Street. Can't even hide and pretend. You threw a table at somebody, Kiki. Ooh, Kiki. Ooh. All right, this is question 11 of 26. This is your young lady, 20 to 34, Caucasian from a place called Meridian, Idaho. Summary of the issue. My boyfriend just told me during an argument that he doesn't like me, and that's the reason he hasn't asked me to marry him. Even though he apologized 5 minutes later, should I believe him? It's been a few days since this argument, and I guess my mind keeps going back to it. Me and my boyfriend have been dating for 10 years. Wait, what? And living together for 9, and everyone and their mother have always asked us when we were getting married. I guess I never knew the real answer until now. The argument was about me letting his mother borrow money, and somehow it ended up in a quote, I don't like you, that's why I haven't married you, end quote. After that, I completely shut down and told him I did not want to talk anymore. I was done. Well, it took him about 5 minutes to come back and apologize and say that he was very upset and he wanted to apologize for what he said. But my sick mind was waiting for the I didn't mean it, and he never said that. I guess I'm coming to you so you can help me to either grow a pair of balls to leave or maybe see a side I'm not seeing. Please help. Well, I don't know what more you need to see. You've been with the clown for 10 years. He ain't married you yet. And then he gonna tell you to your face that he don't like you. I mean, his behavior, and lack of willingness to move forward with a commitment like marriage shows that he don't like you. Not like you want him to. I'm not sure what it is you think that I'm going to say here that you don't obviously already know. but just don't want to accept. But I mean, it's just as clear as day. As my grandmother used to say, it's plain as the nose on your face. She used to say that all the time. So, I mean, dude don't like you, and he even told you to your face he don't like you. So what you want from me? Again, another woman who's accepting disrespect to stay in a relationship. I don't know why. I don't understand. I can't even get excited about a man who disrespects me. You know how you want to see him and you want to touch him and they're so cute and you want to pinch their little cheeks and kiss on them and hug on them and rub on them and lay your head on them and all this old stuff here, paw all over them and get glued to them and hang on their arms when you walking. You don't want to do none of that with somebody who doesn't respect me. I am staying away from him it's like COVID times, that social distancing. Yeah, you're right, Giggles. But I think most of these questions shouldn't be questions. But the ability, the tolerance is the word I was looking for. The tolerance for disrespect is just unbelievable to me. And it's honestly, they girls don't even understand what disrespect is. They just seem to think that it's normal. I guess. I mean, I don't really know what to say. I just guessing here, but it's so common, girl. 10 years. I can't even stay at a job for 10 years. So seriously, I have never had the same job for 10 years. I just haven't done, except doing this. But this isn't really a job for me. Plus, it's not every day. I think this is fun. It's a different kind of motivation. But yeah, I haven't done. I have no kind of job have I ever done for that long. So I definitely couldn't have no relationship that long. Oof. Question 12. This is a female 18 to 21 from Fremont, California. The male's 22 to 27. Summary of issue. My boyfriend got me pregnant. He wants to have the baby and I don't. How do we find common ground? You don't. You in Cali. Girl, you head your ass to the nearest Planned Parenthood or some private doctor and get that shit sucked out. That's what you do. The times we've had Nook Nook, he never put on a C. The first time we did it, I admit I completely forgot about it and at that moment, but I realized later on and I told him. He said, well, you didn't ask me to wear it. I told him I shouldn't have to ask. That's just common sense. He said that with his previous girlfriends, he never used one. I said, well, weren't you worried that you would get them pregnant? And he replied that he wasn't scared of being a dad and that I especially would look so good with his child on my belly. He asked me, wouldn't I want to give him a baby? Oh, okay. Then he went on and told me he wanted to have at least 4 children. Basically, that's how I found out he's indeed keen on having kids. But I'm only 19. He is 25. He is too old for you. The next time we had Nook Nook after that, I did ask for the seed, but he told me that he didn't have one. I was reluctant to continue, but we ended up doing it anyway. I had a convo with him again in which I told him I was scared of getting pregnant. That's why you go to Costco and they have like these industrial sized packages of them and they're cheap. And you get a box and you take it home. And then if he says, I don't have one, you say, ta da! Like magic, Vanna White pose. Look, look. Eh. And then you pull it out. That's what you do. Costco. Okay. I had a convo with him again in which I told him I was scared of getting preggers. He expressed that he just wasn't comfortable wearing protection since I'm his partner. It gives him a strange feeling. Since then, I stopped asking for it, and now I'm pregnant. You dumb. I told him I didn't want to have it. I don't want kids right now. I don't have money. I still live with my mom, and she would kick me out. I haven't finished studying. He just kept giving me solutions. Come live with me. I will always work so you can study. I provide for the both of you. He said it would be very selfish of me if I were to make this decision alone. That he was very excited to create a family with me and that he would be very hurt if I ended up not keeping it. Well, you gonna be hurt then, motherfucker. What the fuck you want from me? I was so set on my decision, now I don't know anymore. I wish I hadn't told him that's right. I want to make the best decision for the both of us without me or him getting hurt. But I feel like that's impossible. I'm lost and I don't know what to do. How can we find common ground? There is no common ground. You either somebody's mama or you not. And I'm telling you, this is a setup. Okay, you're already convinced you to get pregnant because that's what he wanted. And so you need to go on my blog on survivingdating.com and read that article called The Baby Mama Okie Doke, because that's what's happening to you. The baby mama okey doke. I wrote that thing so long ago, but these are the kind of games that dudes play with young, silly girls to get you to be a baby mama and fuck up your life. They do the shit intentionally because you're smart, you're cute, and you're young. And they intentionally want to take you off the market and fuck you up so no other man will want you because then you're going to be a baby mama. See, then you'll be like the lady in the letter before that, where you viewed as a single mother, and all you're only good for is fucking and dumping. Okay. So, and then you can't go to school because then you got to worry about daycare, and kids are expensive. So you're going to have to drop out and get a job. Your mother's probably going to toss you out on your ass where you're going to live. There's a whole bunch of things that you need to be thinking about besides him and his feelings. Take your ass to the nearest abortion clinic and get that shit sucked out of you tomorrow. And you don't tell him about it. You just go and do it. Have one of your friends drive you there and drive you home because they sedate you or whatever, and then, so, it's not really safe to drive and you shouldn't be on public transportation and all that kind of stuff. So you have a friend drive you there and drive you back home. Okay. And then you dump him. You don't mess with a man who doesn't put with your goals and your life and your dreams are not a priority to him. What he's trying to do is make you mess all of those up. You're so young, and your mother hasn't really taught you honestly and earnestly about these kinds of games that men play. And this guy is trash. Men who do this kind of thing to young girls, he's 25. He knows what he's doing. He's not no brand new. He's not a teenager like you. You're young, and I hate to tell you this, but you're dumb. So listen to what your auntie is saying right here. Go and get your ass up. Luckily, you're in California. There's a possibility. You don't have to worry about it. Get your abortion, and then get rid of this guy. Don't you ever see him again. And any man in the future that you get with, and he doesn't want to use something to protect you from having a unwanted pregnancy, you don't sleep with him. Have the courage to say no and get up. Yeah, the parents don't talk to their daughters the way that they should. My mother didn't. I guess she didn't really have to. My father was the one been in my ear before I was even old enough to be interested in boys. Because I have my brothers and all my male cousins and stuff. I thought boys were gross, yucky, and stinky. I mean, all they did was stink and just be stupid. And I just had no interest in having a boyfriend. I was way like senior in high school before I even started thinking about that. And still didn't have like a boyfriend. I mean, I had male friends, but it really wasn't until I went to college. I actually had too many male friends, and you just palling around with them. You can see how stupid they were. My brother's dumb. My male cousin's stupid. Even my father act dumb sometimes. I just men held no mystique from me at all. I just was not interested because I just saw too many of them in their feral state, and they were not. It was nothing. I just couldn't understand why girls even want to be bothered. Oh, I want a boyfriend. I'm like, why? I just don't understand how gross and stinky they are. And my brothers all play sports. By the time they came home in the house, they would be reeking. Just took a shower that morning. You think that mattered? Clothes smell, feet smell, shoes smell, everything. They just like the walking stink bombs. And I'm like, and then they had girls chasing them. I'm like, what is wrong? These girls are delirious. Don't they know how much these boys stink? Everything about them is stinky and nasty. So I don't know. I just couldn't get it. I just was not. But anyway, you don't let somebody who's stinky like that mess up your life, okay? Go and handle your business. Giggles, you think I'm kidding. I am very serious with you guys. I just don't, to this day, I still don't get it. My husband used to play basketball. I made him sit his shoes outside. I'm like, them basketball shoes have they had smell like, yeah, like skunks, like two skunks. And so I made him sit them suckers outside. So you got to put them shoes outdoors. They could not be in the house because the fumes were, come emanating through the air in the house. Mm-mm. Oh God, Leandra was a terrible child. But yeah, I just never could. I just don't get it. Anyway, let's move on. Oh, before we do that, I'm going to show you guys my new my new show intro. It debuted today with this show. Uh, yeah, I guess I'll do this right here. Hold on a second. Let me play it. Where is it? This one.
been a pattern for the last 2 years or so. Once these girl cat, they say my fiance, it's a wrap on anything that the dude does is stupid, any kind of abuse, any.
And there you go. That's our new show intro. Debuted today for the first time when this show, what is today? It's 9/11, isn't it? To all those who lost their lives those many years ago. Was that 2004? Yeah. I didn't realize it was 9/11, but yeah. A moment of silence for all of those folks, but that's our tribute to you. Thank you. Thank you. You missed that doll, baby? Yeah, I decided to, that she may make a comeback because I like that one too. That's doll, baby doll rolling around. I like that image too. I'll find some use for it. But I wanted something a little bit more upbeat and, uh, more get people in the mood to hear these depressing ass letters. So anyway, let's move on to question number 13. This young lady's 22 to 27. She's black from Overland Park, Kansas. Summary issue. I noticed that the guy I've been dating has a wall of tartar on his teeth and he doubled down on it. Oh, wait, what? You know what? There's one in every column. Somebody got funky underarms, don't bathe. I will never forget the dude who used to spray his clothes with Febreze versus taking a shower and washing, his clothes. I don't think I'll ever forget that letter. That was years ago. But I was so grossed out. When I said dudes are stinky. Okay, so she says, I am 22 and had, she put that in all caps, been dating a 24-year-old guy since April of this year, but we've known each other since the end of 2023. We hung out a little bit at the beginning of last year before I decided we'd be better off remaining as friends, and then I blocked him due to obvious resentment and spiteful comments towards me thereafter. We connected this year, though, and I felt like he had changed and being romantically involved this time might be okay, but I was wrong. Never go back. A few weeks ago, we were eating at a chicken place, and I noticed that he had something going on with his bottom teeth. I knew they were really crooked before this moment, but I just couldn't tell before then if it was just chicken pieces lodged in between them because the position of them, or if it was tartar slash plaque. I was going to try to figure it out by saying I thought he had some food in his teeth, but I felt the moment of opportunity passed by the time I was mentally processing it all. So I just made a mental note to try to peep at it again a different time. But before I had to kiss him again. We worked together. I know, big mistake. And while working together just a few days ago, I realized it wasn't food, it was tartar buildup. I tried to figure out a way to politely and gently bring it up and had so much anxiety about doing so. He worked the next shift after the one we had just worked, so I thought it would be better to send him a text after he finished his shift and not bring that up right before it started. I waited until I know he's off and texted asking if I could bring up something to him. He replied that I could, so I started off by saying, I mean this in the gentlest way, and continued saying how I first thought maybe it was food, but then realized it didn't look like it was that, and that I know that maybe he might be up to something that's hard to stay on top of, or maybe financially inconvenient, but provided resources that help for free. I also mentioned how my teeth aren't perfect or anything either, to not make it seem like I was coming for him. He got so mad. I mean, what you call big mad. He replied, Motherfucker just told me to brush my teeth. Yeah, you got it. Then confirmed his dentist said it was tartar slash calculus and continued on about how he does get them clean, but he hasn't for some months now. So that's why the tartar is visible, but thanks for bringing up his insecurity. He immediately shut down the conversation for the night by saying, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Then the first thing he said the next day was, since we're bringing up things gently, you have dry hands and need to use more lotion, which was wild to me because the day before this, he'd also showed me how dry and cracked and crevice his hands were. So he has tartar and dry hands at the same day. She's a savage. And still no mention of a game plan for the tartar or even as why he let it get so bad. Just deflection. Mind you, I never even told him to go brush his teeth because I already know that the level of tartar could only be solved by a dentist. Sound like he need like a jackhammer. I sent some final messages to him immediately and blocked him again. And realized that he genuinely is just always going to struggle with having difficult conversations about things that bruise his ego. I just don't understand why he's mad at me that he has tartar in his mouth. He's been kissing me with that. Talking about, oh, I'll leave that part out. And talking about, oh, taking my V with all that, which I'm grateful we never got to those points. Sometimes it would taste something off when we kiss, but I assumed it was food because anytime we'd be making out would be after dates. Okay, I'm gonna skip some of this because she is going into way too much detail that we just don't need to eat to air for the censors here. See, I feel mad at myself that I didn't notice this earlier. If there was a better way to handle this, but ghosting and blocking him without at least communicating felt wrong. And I generally thought having a conversation about it, he would want to fix it. I've learned to trust my initial gut feeling because he should never have been unblocked from the first bad experience that I had with him. Exactly. I don't know. So, y'all be having that EEOC mentality where you think everybody deserves fairness and equality and all this other shit. When it comes to you, that's not how dating works. You are entitled to have your standards. There's nothing wrong with that. And if some clown doesn't meet your standards and he gets fired, next in, put the win, then you leave him there. You don't go back. You never go back. I mean, nothing about them has changed. So why would you go back to them? That's the part I don't get. They the same raggedy motherfucker that they was before when you broke up, just older. Probably picked up some new bad habits. So I never understood why people go break up and then go get back together. That's never worked for me. I don't. It makes no sense to me. Now you got yuck mouth over there when stuff. So I mean, his tartar so built up that you could see it. That means his ass ain't been to a dentist in at least a year, probably longer. And he does not floss either. It doesn't sound like he brushes that much either. Because, even that, just brushing really well a couple times a day will help mitigate that. It wouldn't be built up that much. So you just was dealing with somebody who's nasty. You better hope you don't get some kind of heart infection from that shit. Because dental problems will mess you up. It messes with your heart valve. I'll be looking at people's mouths. I'm like, that don't, that don't look right. You ain't kissing me. Question number 14. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group out from Allentown, Pennsylvania. Summary of issue. I'm annoyed that my boyfriend can't remember a lot of what I say. Ah, girl, do men really ever remember anything? So me and my boyfriend, I'm 28 and he's 33, have been dating a year and just moved in together. However, I find myself getting annoyed that he doesn't seem to remember a lot of what I say. For instance, we were planning on going to the laundromat next week, and while he is there, I was going to go try out the nail salon across the street. We spoke about it several times. Fast forward to yesterday. He, quote, came up with the idea of me going to the nail salon while he washes clothes. I mentioned to him that I thought that was the plan all along, and he seemed genuinely confused. Then today we spoke about going to a certain restaurant in November instead of September. He mentioned reservations. I said again for the millionth time that they don't do reservations. I also mentioned again that I wanted to go in September since I had originally wanted to go on a date that I'm hanging out with my friends in the morning. It'd be perfect for me and him at night, just in case I end up hanging with friends all day instead, since he won't have. Okay, well, he said that we would know ahead of time what we were going to do anyway, and I said that several times that I don't know until the day of, and he was okay with it before then. He had no clue what I was talking about. I don't know what you're talking about, and I'm sitting right here. I have told him that he makes me feel invalid and that he doesn't listen to me. But all he says is that he doesn't get upset if I forget something, which is stupid because if I forget something, I acknowledge it and I don't pretend that the conversation never happened. Plus, there has never been a time where he or anyone has mentioned something to me several times and I forgot. I don't know. A part of me thinks that I'm overreacting as I have the same problem with my brother who has undiagnosed ADHD. I suspect that my boyfriend does too. Is it me or would this get on your nerves as well? Oh, it would get on my nerves to the point where I don't know. I would have moved in with him personally. I don't like to repeat myself. And if I'm saying something to you that's a part of conversation and then you don't acknowledge it and you act like you ain't never heard it before and now it's magically suddenly your idea, well, that would get on my nerves too. And so, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, every woman has her bottom line and what bothers her to the point where she doesn't want to be in a relationship anymore. So you have to make that determination. But would this work for me? Absolutely not. Like I said, I hate repeating myself. And I don't want to feel like I'm talking to you and we're supposed to be, communicating and remember what each other says because it's important to us to remember these things. And you don't remember shit. That wouldn't work for me. So I don't know what to tell you. You gonna stay and deal with it, or you gonna leave him? Those are only two options. You can't make him change. Question number 15. This is a young lady, 20 to 34, from Albany, New York. Summary of issue: the handyman asked me out on a date. Uh, I hired a group of 3 handymen to come to my house and do some work over a 4-week period. One of them couldn't keep his eyes off me. I don't know why, as I looked awful and unkept the entire week. Sleepy and exhausted with the work being done in the home, I barely talked to him and I barely even looked at him. But today he took out his phone and showed me a message. It read, "Would you like to hang out sometime? You're so cute." His hand was shaking a lot as I read this message on his phone. I was shocked and taken aback. I told him maybe, but after the work is done in 4 weeks. He nodded and left, started to go out of his way to work faster and more attentive. Not sure how I feel about this. Any advice moving forward? He's attractive, but I don't know how I feel about dating someone who's worked in my home and knows where I live. He seems like a nice guy, but also worried about the ages as I am 30 and he's only 25. Not sure if it's a good idea or not. Any suggestions? Well, I mean, he done already, we usually when we go on dates and stuff, we don't want people to know where we live. It's because we don't know them. They are relative strangers. These are some people that you hired. They have, I'm assuming they're got some kind of contractor license or some kind of license, right? You're not gonna just let some willy-nilly day workers all up in your house and you in the house by yourself. Would you do that? So if they're registered with the state and the contractor and they have, permits and licenses and whatnot, um, it's pretty easy to check up on them and allay your fears that way. Um, Other than that, you're 30 and he's 25. I mean, he's not asking you to marry him. He's just asking to go on a date. He already been in your house. He already seen you looking toe jacked the fuck flow back up. So you don't need to pretend. No pretense there. So I'm wondering what it is that you're so afraid of. Because like I said, mainly we don't want people to know where we live because we haven't met them. We don't know who they are. This man has been all up in your house over a 4-week period. So what is going out for lunch or something with him going to really do that should make you that afraid when you've been around him all this time? You might not have been looking at him, but he was looking at you for however many hours a day, 5 days a week, over a 4-week period. So give that some thought. If I were you, I would at least check it out and see, what he's talking about. Leander says that means you should. Well, he only wanted a work crew, so she still got to pay the other two. It's 3 of them. So even if he took a cut on his part, when the bill comes, it's gonna go to the company, so she ain't gonna get no discount. But just see how just go out with him one time. Just say, I'm not making you any promises, but I said maybe after the work is done, so let's do lunch or something like that. Make it lightweight, something, and we can't stay too long because we got to go to work or something like that. That's why I like lunch because it has a time clock around it where they can't be, oh, you want to have a drink or let's go for round two. No, got to go back to work. I can't be drunk. I need to, I need to think, I have some meetings this afternoon, this kind of thing. Deuces, thank you. You did great on work in the house. Appreciate it. Yeah, he was nervous. He really likes her. So I don't know. I think that it's worth her going out with him one time, no commitments. See what he's talking about. Because just because he's 25, that don't mean he's stupid. I mean, a lot of 25-year-olds, depending upon their culture and how they were raised, their family dynamics, if they have like younger siblings they were in charge of and stuff like that, they had a lot of responsibility and they're a lot more mature than these 25-year-olds that just fart around playing video games all day. He already out there working and doing hard work. So I don't just don't be so quick to rush to judgment. I check him out, and it's only 5 years. It ain't no big deal. Question now it'd be different if you was 15 and he was 20. Well, that's 5 years. 20 and he's 25. That's a big difference. But 25 to 30, the gap starts closing. 30 to 35, the gap is seriously closed. And after that, it's like what gap? Okay. Question number 16. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Cleveland, Ohio. Summary of issue. My ex wants all the gifts he brought me for my birthday back. Okay, Leandra. It's time for Leandra to rein in on this one. Her ex wants all the gifts that he ever brought her for her birthday. He wants them back. Do I give these back? I know he's just being petty and doing it to hurt me. He told me he's going to sell them or give them to his mom. He keeps asking for them back and telling me that because he spent so much money on me and he doesn't want me to wear them with another guy, which is ridiculous. But I do like the person's shoes and I've already been using them and I don't want to give them back. Well, then you just tell him no and tell them once you give somebody something, where they wear them or who sees them wearing them from complete strangers who are all men on the bus and the plane, train, or whatever you go commute to work. All them guys have seen you in them shoes and stuff too. So he's just talking shit. But if you don't want to give them back, I would rather put them in a bonfire in my what you call barbecue pit and light them suckers up with some flame lighter fluid and toss in a match. I'm not gonna wear them, but you ain't getting them either. So it'll be one of those things. Either I would continue on wearing them and not bother about him, what he's talking about, or I would burn them in a bonfire and give him the ashes. Say, here you go. Because he didn't say what state they had to be in. He just said he wanted them back, right? I'll give him the ashes. Say, here's everything nice and crispy and clean for you. In a nice, put them in a little box and put a bow on that shit and give it to him. So here's all your shit. And it don't even have to really be that shit. It could be some other shit that you burned up. He don't need to know. And just go burn it up and give him the ashes. That's what I would do. Well, you never said you wanted them back the way that you gave them to. You just said you wanted them back. So loophole. Loophole. Yeah, that's what I would do. That's what I was waiting for. You know how I do things, girls. If there's a way to fuck somebody over, I'm gonna do it. I always choose the fuck over method. That's how I do things. Question number 17. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group from Columbia, Maryland. Summary issue. Dad is giving all his money to a 21-year-old he met while driving Uber, and I'm at a loss. Okay. My dad is 60 and he met some 21-year-old chick while driving for Uber, and now I'm watching what looks like a slow motion train wreck. She told him that she was homeless, so he started paying for her hotel, got her a job, bought her a car, and in total has given her around $20,000 in just 2 months. The worst part, he doesn't have that kind of money. He's borrowed some from me under false pretenses, which I now know went straight to her, and his credit score is in the 300s. What? People have tried to warn him. Her friend called him and saying she's still with her ex and using him. Her ex's mom said the same thing. Every time she tells my dad they're just jealous or dislike her. It's beyond surreal. My dad looks like Danny DeVito. No offense to the man. Has nothing in savings and yet thinks this 21-year-old is with him out of love. They've known each other for 2 months and he already tattooed her name on him. He's even had the police recover the car he bought her multiple times until the last time when she got him to sign it over to her officially. He swears she never asked for anything, but somehow he's hemorrhaged $20,000 since meeting her. I don't know how to make him see it. I'm torn between trying to intervene or stepping back until he crashes and then helping him pick up the pieces, but it's getting worse fast. Any ideas on what I can do to protect him from himself? Yes, you can investigate with your local adult protective services if how you can get him conserved. It can be a temporary concert. Like remember what they did to Britney Spears where other people took over her control of her money and stuff? That's what your daddy needs so he can get himself together. I mean, he's already 60 years old driving Uber. That means he don't have no money for retirement. So what is he going to do? I mean, what's he gonna do? Are you gonna live? You know, he gonna live with you and you gonna feed and clothe him? This is something you need to talk to somebody in at that office. I think it's a public guardian slash conservator and see what your options are. But tell them what's been going on. And you know, that is how your dad in 2 months is getting fleeced out of $20,000. You need to report this to somebody who has the power to do something about it because they can do an involuntary conservatorship where he don't have to agree to it, or they can do one where he agrees to it and puts you in charge of his finances if that's what you want. Otherwise, you know, the government will do it. But either way, it's a method to protect him from himself, where he won't have access to his money. They'll pay his house note, they'll pay his insurance, they give him a certain allotment for groceries and stuff like that. They pay the utility bills, or or you can do it. So you just talk to them about what the options are in a case like yours, where he's obviously lucid because he's functioning, he's working and everything, but he's done lost his mind when it comes to whatever game is being run by this 21-year-old. And so he needs protection from himself on that side. But these romance scams are these are big fraud things that are hitting seniors like to the tunes of millions. I wrote an article on it some months ago for this senior newsletter. And it's ridiculous how many like $1 billion industry these scammers are doing when it comes to seniors. So everybody who got seniors, watch them carefully, watch who's to be hanging around them. If this money be showing up missing, jewelry be showing up missing, it be some weird stuff going on. They buying too many presents for somebody. I mean, just watch it. Watch everything that goes on with the seniors in your life and make sure that they're being treated right by people. It's usually family members because people trust family. And so they don't be looking at family as the culprits. But it's usually families and close family friends are always like 99% of the time the culprits. The other time it's like lawyers and neighbors and stuff like that that see an opportunity. But most of the ones are people that are close to them. Question number 18. This is a female, 22 to 27, from Swindon in the UK. So I have an issue. I love my partner, but I'm afraid his parents' financial situation will ruin our future. My boyfriend and I are both 22 and have been dating for 5 months. We've been coworkers for over a year, good friends before we started dating, and honestly, we have a great relationship. We laugh a lot, we get along, and I really do love him. The problem is his family situation. His parents are divorced, neither of them work, neither owns a home, and both live in rentals. His mom struggles with alcohol. His dad is religious and hasn't worked for over a year. They basically have zero income and high monthly expenses. Just don't fully understand how they survive, but I suspect my boyfriend helps them financially more than he admits. This month was rough for him. He moved to a new apartment with some friends, paid rent and deposit and an agency fee, went on a trip with his friends. I was invited, but he organized it, and his phone broke. During that time, he lived with me for a month in which he didn't pay rent or utilities. I gave him my old phone, and I covered more than half the groceries, even though we tried to split the cost. At the end of the month, he had almost zero left from his salary. What really worries me that even in such a tight month, he still paid his father's car, road tax, and bought groceries for his mom. It confirms my fear that no matter how much he earns or how much he is left with, a part will always go to his parents. I am afraid in the future the help will get bigger. Meanwhile, my life is just starting. I graduated 2 months ago. I have savings and a stable family, and I want to enjoy my 20s, invest in myself, build a future. But I often hold myself back because I know he can't do the same, and I don't want to make him feel bad. I feel like I've lost myself. I did more housework. I felt stressed about money, even though I don't have money problems, and I avoided buying things I wanted so he wouldn't feel inadequate. I'm jealous when I hear my friends talk about what they do with their boyfriends because deep down I want the same. The truth is, if it weren't for his parents' financial mess, I wouldn't doubt this relationship. My boyfriend is kind, funny, and caring, but I can't ignore the fact that he will always feel responsible for his parents, and I'll end up financing, quote, us, while he finances, quote, them. At the same time, I feel extremely guilty for thinking about leaving. I feel like I'm abandoning him. He's an amazing person and does not deserve the burden he has to carry. We also work together, and so breaking up feels complicated. But I don't see a future where I can live freely and happily with him while carrying this burden. I am scared of seeing him in the office every day after a possible breakup. That's why you never date people where you work. I done told y'all that 500 million times. Never shit where you eat. Okay, you fucked up. No, it was for another newspaper, a local, the county newspaper, a county news magazine. Yes, they can. Ash, it's terrible. It's really bad. But you just gonna have to suck it up, girlfriend, and say, it's no fault with you, but your situation. I just don't see a future for us because of your ties to your parents. And it's like I know you feel like you need to take care of them and stuff, but they're not my parents. We're not married, and I don't really want to feel like I'm responsible for making the ends meet once you give up all your money to your parents. I don't want to do that. And so, looking out for me in the future that I want to try to build for myself, I have to let you go. And it breaks my heart. I'm so sad. I really, really miss you. You're a wonderful guy. But, and all that, sing all that song. But bottom line, you can meet him at work, but you're supposed to leave. Like when I worked at Pettit and Martin before they had the shooting, we had a couple of attorneys that met there, and you know what they did? Because they had to know you can't work there because of the conflict of interest. Like, what if you're working on two of cases that are similar or might have the same plaintiff or defendant or something like that, and you guys end up pillow talking, sharing information? That's a no-no. That's a no-no. That's a no on all fronts. And so, if you both work, you couldn't have a couple that worked so one of them had to leave. So always one person would quit and move to another firm. So they may have met there, but they don't continue to date while they're at work. No problem there. I just said don't shit where you eat. See, she dating him. They got a full-on relationship and still work together, and that's just you shouldn't do that. Question number 19. This is a female 20 to 34. She's Caucasian from North York, Canada. Summary of issue: his damn dog. I've been married a little over a year to a great man. Our relationship has been wonderful. I moved into his house and he had a dog that he absolutely adores. Now he lived alone with his dog and he never trained him. He ruled the house and pooped and peed wherever he pleased. Hubby cleaned it up at his leisure. The house stunk. When I came to his house for the first time, it was relatively clean. Obviously, he cleaned, but there was still a smell of dog urine. Oh, and you stayed? So we got married, and now I'm cleaning up dog pee and poop every single day because I like the house I live in to be clean. Deb, this dog is walked twice a day, and I put numerous wee pads all around the house where I find it's his favorite spots to pee and poop because we both work and are not home during the day. But since he is never trained to go on a pad, it's hit or miss. So I've been cleaning up pee for the duration that we've been married. Yesterday I had it. 3 days in a row he didn't go on the pad but on the floor. Little gnats were flying around the poop. I couldn't even get it off the floor. Had to use steel wool all 3 times, but yesterday I broke. In the evening I tried to start a conversation with him about the dog's habits and maybe we could confine him to one area or put a diaper on him. And by the way, this dog bites too. I've been bitten 5 times. Girl, you all this just so you could be married, say that you married? You tripping. Well, now he has lost it and said such hurtful things. One of them was that he could get any woman who would gladly help with his dog. He didn't need me. So I'm obsolete, I guess. As long as I behave, I'm okay. I did mention in the past about getting a dog trainer. He said no. I told him I doubt he would find a nicer woman than me who would put up with his mutt. He completely disagreed. He could have any woman he wants, and she would care for the dog out of love. Am I wrong to feel so frustrated with this animal and wrong for not liking the dog? What would you and the ladies listening do in my situation? I buy his food and I have him groomed. I treat the dog well, even though I'm not too fond of him. It's ridiculous. We argued over his dog. He said many hurtful things to me. I'm so hurt. That dog would, y'all know how I'm not gonna say it because all these pet lover types would be like, "Oh my God, you're an animal abuser, you damn fucking Skippy." I sure am. But the main one who needs to be abused in this situation is the husband, not the dog. The dog is just doing this doggy thing. But would I be cleaning up dog shit and poop? Well, hell to the no. I wouldn't do that. And see, the main thing, like when I went to somebody's house and they had the house smelled like dog piss, Dad would make a U-turn and go right back out the door, and that would be all over. That's what I'm saying. He need to be donated. donated, lost in the woods, something would happen. That dog would be no more. And he'd be like, "Where my dog at? I fucking don't know. I told it to go take a walk and pee outdoors and it never came back. You let my dog go. I sure did." But if you have a man disrespecting you to this level, saying hurtful things and that he didn't need you and all this kind of stuff, girl, you supposed to get your shit and get the fuck out of that stinky, pissy, poop smelling house with that poop loving man. That's what you're supposed to do. I don't understand why you still there and sitting up there worried about it and doing all that maid work and being hurt by what he said. Psh, he wants somebody to be messing with that dog. Give him some dog food for dinner. Make it some dog food into a meatloaf. Put tomato sauce and stuff on it and give him and Fluffy the same dinner. Let's move on. Question 20. We got 26 questions today. 26 questions. Nearing the end. Yes, that's what you could say, Kiki. You're right. This is a young man, 28 to 34 age group from Pensacola, Florida. Summary issue. My parents lean on me for money every month, and I'm running out of patience. I'm 31. My parents are in their early 60s. I'm writing to you because lately I feel more like their safety net than their son. Almost every month there's a new request for money. In August was $1,200 for general expenses, then $280 for utilities mid-month. Just last week I covered $450 for house cleaning. By the end of the month, they hinted at help with a credit card bill too, but I had already drained my own account and I had to refuse. Adding it all up is nearly a third of what I earn. I care about them deeply. They gave me a good upbringing and I want them to feel secure in their later years, but I can feel the resentment creeping in because every dollar I spend means less for my own emergency fund and retirement. The hardest part isn't the money itself, it's the conversation. Whenever I try to bring up limits, they brush it off with what you're still young, you'll earn more, or just this once. But just this once has become the norm. I've even tried making it myself a simple, what can I romantically give plan, just so I don't say yes to more than I can afford in the moment. Well, it doesn't solve how I actually want to talk to them about limits. Now I'm just wondering how I can draw financial boundaries with my parents without blowing up the relationship. You don't worry about blowing up the relationship. I mean, it's like they had a crisis and stuff and you helped them through it. I mean, that's good. I mean, that's family should do things like that. If you got people that care, you're not gonna let them be in a crisis situation. But if it turns into something where they asking for it every single month, it's like your salary rather has become part of their budget. Well, then that's when you have to put a stop to it. So I don't know how you do it to tell you. You need to, find your testosterone in your voice and say, look, I'm not going to be funding your lifestyle. If you need to, you're only 60 years old. You can get a job. Go over there and be a Walmart greeter or something. You can do some stuff. They have all kinds of jobs for old people. Y'all need to get you some and stay out of my wallet. That's not going to happen. I've already helped you as much as I can. I can't keep doing this because it's putting me in a bad situation. It's going to mess up my credit and my income. So, just be fair with them. Just tell them. Right now, you're not saying anything. You're just making excuses. That's not a boundary. That's just like being weak and passive aggressive. Just tell them straight up, no, not happening. So they can go make other arrangements. Question number 21. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group from Boston, Massachusetts. Summary issue. Am I wrong for wanting to end a relationship over this? Am I in the wrong for expecting my partner of 3 years, who I live with and had expected to marry eventually, to see me struggling financially for the past 6 months and have absolutely no desire to help me out? No, I fired several people for situations like that. My financial struggle comes from my decision to make a career change for the sake of my mental health and as a result, start back at a beginning wage. He is currently making double what I earn and told me the other night he's now paying $350 a month for an Equinox gym membership. Wow, that's a lot. We also split everything down the middle, rent and bills. I found this is a really hard pill to swallow and has left me wondering, do I really want a future with someone that is content to see me struggle while ensuring they live their life in luxury settings? Because let's be honest, Equinox is a lifestyle choice, not a necessity. It was about just keeping fit. That's right. You could be a 24-hour fitness with the rest of us broke people. I don't know what to do. What you need to do is move out. Now, see, This is the part, though, that I'm having a little bit of trouble with right here. My financial struggle comes from my decision to make a career change for the sake of my mental health. And as a result, I started back at a beginning wage. Okay. Before you did that, you were supposed to sock away cash so that you had enough money in the bank to sustain your lifestyle for at least a year, right? So you could get, things situated with your career choice. Or you make your career choice and then you work a second part-time job to make up the difference. But you've opted not to do either of those things. Of course, it's too late to go backwards and do the other thing first. But you made a couple of poor decisions here with poor planning and talking about your mental health and all that. But look at your mental health now. Might it have been better to just stay on the job and make your money and plan better? Stay there a couple of months longer and make the plan for exiting to go to a new career, which doesn't sound like you did that. You just left. And you're looking at him to step up and help you cover your responsibilities when you didn't plan to cover your responsibilities. It would be different if you planned to and you ran out of money. It'd be different if you got fired suddenly and ran out of money. But no, you made a choice here, but it was done with poor planning and lack of foresight. And so, yeah, I mean, he could step up and like cover all the men or something like that. But I mean, he shouldn't have to because you planned poorly. So, I mean, I understand. I'm not, like I said, I may sound like you know, I don't want they towels. I want my own towel because for all I know, they didn't wash the towels right. People have cooties. I mean, you need a certain level of hot water. I want some bleach. I want some antibacterial something in that water. I use white vinegar in my wash to clear bacteria and viruses and whatnot. And I want hella soap. That's what I want. I want the hottest water imaginable. Well, at Equinox, they do that because they feel like they're paying so much. They need to take something home. That's why they do that. Had a friend who used to work there. I go see him up there sometimes. He ran the basketball game court thing. But yeah, you didn't plan really well. And now you want to get mad because he got money to spend $350 at Equinox and you don't have your half of the rent. So I'm going to suggest that you go and get you a second job and then cover your money. Okay. You can work on the weekends at night or something a couple of days a week. You ain't doing shit else. Question number 22. This is a male, 20 to 34 from El Cajon, California. Summary of issue. I came into some money recently and I'm honestly freaking out about managing it properly. So I know this is a good problem to have, but I'm low key panicking and I need some perspective. Without going into crazy detail, I came into a chunk of money after a lottery win. Nothing life changing, but definitely more than I ever had at once. Like enough to actually have savings for the first time in my life. The thing is, I have no idea what I'm doing. I grew up in a hood rat family where money management was basically just paying bills, buying groceries, and hoping that there's something left over. So this is a completely new world for me. I've been researching online, but there's so much conflicting advice. Some people say pay off debt first, others say invest immediately, and everyone has opinions about emergency funds and high yield savings accounts. And I'm just sitting here like, what does any of this actually mean in practice? Actually, I'm scared I'm going to make some dumb mistake and blow this blessing. Like, what if I put it in the wrong account? What if I don't pay enough taxes on it? What if I actually spend it all without realizing? I know I should probably talk to a financial advisor, but honestly, that just feels super intimidating and expensive. What steps should I take, Deb? I'll listen to any advice at this point because I'm just staring at my bank account having an existential crisis, LMAO. Well, you're in California, so I'm going to suggest that you look into moving your money into a credit union, not a bank, not a bank. Okay, banks is going to kill you with fees. So move your money into a credit union and then sit down with someone who's going to be managing your funds with you. This is all free. And tell them, what it is that you want. I want to save for retirement. I want to save to buy a house. I mean, what is your goal? What is your goal? And then you might earmark like, one third of this for this and one third for that and this and that. I'm a fan of if you have credit card debt, definitely pay that shit off. You got that bitch is, charge you, I don't know, between 18 and for some people as much as 31% interest There's no investment vehicle in the world that's going to pay that kind of money back. So that's just money out your pocket that's down the drain. So you got credit card debt, pay that off for sure. Pay that off, and then don't mess with the credit cards. You can keep them for an emergency, but if you have them and they're through some other bank or some weird thing, get rid of those and open a credit card through your credit union. Even if you have bad credit and you need to have like a secured credit card, you're gonna have all the money in the world in the your money in the bank. So they will just set you up a credit card that is, that money is guaranteed by the deposit. So you can only spend credit up to that amount. So say, I don't know, $3,000. Then you got a $3,000 limit because that's how much you have in your account to secure the credit card. You see what I mean? And then that way you're not paying that exorbitant, ridiculous interest. You can pay it off every month because you have the money to do it. So you'll be able to build your credit at no interest cost. Okay. So there's a way to do this, but I would suggest that you do that. Talk to the person at the credit union about what your goals are, and they will help you manage your money, invest it in long-term fundings or whatever you want to do, and retirement account, IRA, or whatever. So then you'll have a plan in place. Your money will be set up, and then you can just move on with your life, still working, still adding to your savings account, and still living, life of a young person in their 20s. But you won't have to worry about, you'll have a good foundation ready to go for your retirement and buying a house or whatever it is that you want to do. All right, that's my suggestion. You don't need a financial advisor because they charge a percentage. You get the same services for free through the credit union. You're just going to deposit your money there and give you everything you need free. Question number 23. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group from Montreal, Canada. Serve issue. My fool fiance told me, this is it. Take it or leave it. So I gave him his ring back and told him to get the fuck out of my house. Okay, girl. Yes, honey, vinegar is the thing. You got to use it. I get that from my grandmother, and I use borax too. I use borax in my laundry and white vinegar. Yeah, you're right. It's a nice. It neutralizes odors. It kills bacteria, and it acts as a fabric softener without the chemicals, so it don't fuck up your washing machine either. If you don't do that, and you don't need a lot. It's just like you use half the bottle, so just a tablespoon or two. All right. So, Deb, this fool, my old ass 37-year-old fiance and I'm 28, have been together for 2 years. Ain't she dogging, dude? He moved into my house 6 months ago and proposed a month ago. I thought we were solid, but now I'm questioning everything. I inherited a fortune 3 years ago. It changed my life, but I live below my means and I didn't buy anything flashy with the money. I work part time as a teacher, I travel, and I have a nonprofit in the works. I budget carefully so the money will last. Only my dad and my sister know the full amount that I got. When we first started dating, he understandably questioned how I managed my lifestyle on a teaching salary. I explained I had a small inheritance, which allowed me to buy my house and have some savings to live on. I admit may have been wrong to be vague, but no, you weren't. You just started dating him. But at the time, we were just starting to date, and I wasn't comfortable sharing all the details. My house is nice, but nothing extravagant. And during our relationship, we always split expenses 50-50. When, quote, Bobby, end quote, moved in, I paid everything except most groceries. He wanted us to eventually buy a bigger house together so his dad could move in with us. I said no to living with in laws, but suggested maybe a separate unit someday. He pushed back but agreed we needed to discuss finances first. Bobby earns around 10,000 a month and has 100,000 saved. I have millions invested and about 40,000 a month income from it. When I told him, he was shocked. He said, if I have so much, why not just buy the house and cover everything? I explained that just because I can doesn't mean I should. Things were fine until after we got engaged. I proposed separate finances, a joint account for expenses, and splitting costs proportionally to income. I also told him I wanted a prenup. That's when things blew up. Initially, when we discussed buying another house, the plan was to contribute together. But once we started looking at what we could afford, we had to lay our finances on the table. When he found out my net worth, everything shifted. He said that if we split 50-50, we couldn't afford a bigger house. And since I, quote, had the means, end quote, I should buy the house myself, but it would still be, quote, our house. I told him that whatever amount he contributed would equal his share of equity. He argued that we should be, quote, equal partners, meaning I buy the house in both of our names even if he doesn't contribute. We fought about this for days. Eventually, he gave me an ultimatum, final offer. You buy the house, we each own 50%. I'll sign the prenup, take it or leave it. I asked if that meant breaking up if I said no, and he hesitated but said yes. Maybe I was naive, but until this point, I never saw signs of him being a gold digger. So I left it. I took off that ring. I told him it was over and that he needed to move out. He backtracked, saying that he didn't really want to end things, just wanted me to agree. He accused me of throwing away our relationship for money. I told him he threw it away by demanding I fund our life and give him half the assets I work to protect. Now I'm wondering if I sabotage my relationship. I love him, but I don't think it's fair to bankroll a grown man or accept ultimatums about my own damn money. What would you do in this situation? Oh, I see you good because by the time okay, separate finances, I told him I want a prenup, and then the first time when he said uh, that you should buy the house yourself, but it would still be our house, I would have broke up with him on the spot then. It's like, motherfucker, wait a minute. How you gonna think that I'ma buy something with my money, all my money, and you gonna get 50% of it just on the strength that you want it? Think again, pack your shit and get the fuck out. And that would have been the day that was over for me. So I think you were patient and you talk to him about it and try to negotiate and be all polite and all this old stuff here. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Giggles. I don't understand where why this is even a conversation. And you can say you never saw signs of him being gold digger. I don't know why. As soon as he started balking, talking all that, you buy it and I'll live in it and be half mine. See, that was gold digger 101 right in your face right there. Yeah. But see, this is why I tell people all the time, when before you get with somebody like that and you got some property and stuff, put your shit in a trust. That's what you need to do. Put it in a trust, and then they can't touch it. So even if they don't sign a new prenup, they only gonna get half of what you earned during the thing, and they can't get anything from your inheritance. So that $40,000 that you're getting from your inheritance money, just leave that in the trust too. He wouldn't get shit from me except half of my teacher's salary. Well, you could have that 27 cents. That's okay. Wow, I don't even know what to say. This dude is a special one. Question number 24. This is a young man, 22 to 27. He's South Asian from England in the UK. Third issue, I broke it off with my girlfriend after she brushed off her mom's racist remarks as banter to me. And now I'm wondering if I was being overly sensitive. Okay, this is the second letter we had about somebody doing some racist shit, just interracial dating. A couple of days ago, my now ex-girlfriend invited me over for dinner to her mom's place. To be honest, I never really liked her mom. She's always given off this passive-aggressive vibe towards me, but I tolerated it because I cared about my girlfriend. We are both 25. During dinner, her mom made a comment that really crossed the line. Out of nowhere, she looked at me and said, "Did you even shower? Why do you smell like curry so much?" Wow. I say, "And you smell like trailer park, bitch." You know it would have come right out of my mouth. Just so fast, just like instantaneously without even thinking about it. She immediately started laughing, and my girlfriend laughed right along with her. Yeah, see, you didn't fire back. You just let yourself be the brunt of the joke. It's like if we gonna laugh at somebody making racial slurs, let's all laugh. Because I'm about to fire something back at you. Mm. I was stunned for a moment, but then I managed to say, that is racist and not okay. I will not accept that behavior. Her mom instantly got defensive and said, calm down, it was just banter. The whole atmosphere got incredibly awkward after that. When we left and got back to my girlfriend's apartment, I told her directly, I really don't like the way you reacted when your mother made that racist joke. Why didn't you support me? I'm sick of this. Instead of hearing me out, she brushed me off and said, stop being so sensitive. Wow. Wow. At that point, I'd had enough. I told her we're done, and I walked out. Now I'm wondering, was I too harsh to end things right then, or was I justified in not wanting to stay with someone who laughs with racist jokes at my expense and then dismisses me when I bring up, no, you were right. Stop questioning yourself. Your spine was shiny and your testosterone level was high. You was not about the bullshit, and I commend you for that. But what I don't want you to do is go doubting yourself as and questioning your decision with to stand up for yourself and let people know that you're not going to tolerate being disrespected. You don't go behind yourself and doubt yourself and question yourself in a situation like this. You did the right thing. You told her what she did wrong, and then you explained why, that you weren't going to tolerate it. And like I said, the only thing that I would have done differently was when the mother said, "Do you even shower? Why do you smell like curry?" I would have had to say, "Well, you smell like redneck trailer park. So I mean, what's the difference? Everybody's stinking up in this bitch." I would have had to say something like that to her. So she want to start laughing. Let me just have her do, suck that laughing up real quick. Because once she got her feelings hurt, then she wouldn't have been so funny. See, and then she would have known that she wasn't the one to play with, and then she would never do that shit again. I mean, they still know it now, but now you're not there to get your vindication. See, because I just have to have the last word. It's just something about me. I just have to have it. I just have to have it. I cannot live without having the last word. So I'm going to, like, somebody make a racist just joke at me if you want to. Be ready for what's coming, because I'm here to unleash on your ass. And I know a whole bunch of shit to say. I just don't say it because I think it's ridiculous. It's just nasty and it's crude, and I just really don't want to do that. But that don't mean I can't, and it definitely don't mean I won't. So you better watch what you say to me, or you gonna get some. And that's what she would have got. She would have got some because she deserved it. She just don't start none, won't be none. And since the mother started some, then that's all bets are off. You can do your hands like this and be like, "Oh boy," she would have needed some. So other than that, that's the only thing I would have done different. I would have done that and then got up and told her that she was over. Question number 25. This is a female, 22 to 27. She's Caucasian from St. Paul, Minnesota. Summary issue. My friend is pissed at me because I refuse to let her kid blow out my birthday candles. This is a what would Deb do question. Deb, I turned 25 and I had a small birthday party last weekend. My friend, she is older, she's 28, brought her 4-year-old son, which is bad enough. But when it was time to blow out my candles, her kid ran up and tried to do it. I put my hand in front of him to block him and then blew them out myself. My friend looked annoyed and said I could have just let him have the fun. I told her it was my birthday and I wanted to blow out my own candles on my own cake. She got huffy and left shortly thereafter. Later, she texted me saying I embarrassed her son and ruined the moment for everyone. Now, some friends are saying I could have just let him do it because it's not a big deal. I think birthdays should belong to the person whose day it is. Which approach would you have taken? I would have done just what not. Well, actually, when she came with her kid, I would have told her to leave. This is an adult party. This ain't. I don't want to be bothered with no fucking 4-year-old. Go home. If you can't get a babysitter, just stay home. But bye. It was nice seeing you. Thanks for showing up briefly. Bye. Okay, that would have been the first part. But then if you didn't want to do that, maybe you didn't really mind if the kid was there, I mean, whatever. Then I would have done exactly what you did. And then, but I would have had to stop when after I did all that and told her, she said, I could have let him do it. It's like, no, I'm never going to let him do it because it's not his birthday. And you need to teach your kid if it's not your birthday, you don't blow out other people's candles. For some reason, you just refuse to teach your child that reality. And so he's going to get himself popped in the face one of these days when he tries to do it to the wrong kid and the kid busts him in the eye. And that could happen. Because some little kids, I mean, they look at their birthday as like it's like like a national holiday, and some little brat come up and try to blow out their candles or something, they're gonna punch him, and then because little kids they don't have the same meters about their emotions that adults, well, most adults do. And they just react, so they're gonna push her kid in the face to the floor, or they're gonna hit her kid in the face, and the kid's gonna be hurt. And when she should have just told her child, it's not your birthday, you don't blow out the candles, you wait until it's your birthday. That's all it is. That's parenting. You teach your child how to live in society. I mean, it's not like hard. I don't understand what the problem is. She just let her kid be like feral. And these what they I used to call them free range kids, just do what they want to do. That never ends well for the child. And our final, oh my God, this is long. Our final question of the day is a long one. This is a female, 20 to 34. She's African American from Virginia Beach, Virginia. Summer issue. I'm getting the cold shoulder about my roommate because I had her boyfriend's car towed from my paid parking spot. I'm 31 and I share a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment with a 27-year-old female roommate. Our building has a few parking spaces that are reserved for tenants which I pay an extra $180 a month for because I work late shifts and I don't want to have to look for a space to park on the street at 1 a.m. when I get home. When she moved in, I made it very clear that my parking space is mine and that the lease contains a rule about towing unauthorized cars in paid for attendant spots, and she told me that she understood. But a few weeks later, her boyfriend started, quote, borrowing my spot without permission. I left a note and sent her a text, informed her nicely the first time. The second time, I found him while I was coming back from the store and asked him nicely not to park in the spot because it's not his, and I paid for it, so I'd like to use it. He laughed and said it was just a few hours. I ended up parking on the street, and that got me a $75 ticket. The third time was the worst. When I came home at midnight, his car was already parked in my spot. I drove around for half an hour before finally parking on the street and once again ended up with a $75 ticket. I texted my roommate and asked her to make things right. She replied that she was sorry but didn't offer to pay me back. She assured me that it wouldn't happen again. But last Thursday, it did happen again. When I go there at 1 a.m. and I saw his car, I sat there with that awful feeling in my stomach. I took a picture of the plate and the reserve sign with my apartment number and called the tow company that was listed in the lobby. They came in 20 minutes, towed his car, so I parked mine and went up to my room and went to sleep. About an hour later, my friend barges into my room in panic, says that her boyfriend had gone down and his car was gone, and she yelled at me, saying I should not have called them first, asked to move the car and not having it towed. I said I had already called her many, many times. She didn't want to help me. Instead, I got multiple parking tickets for this, and she told me I was doing too much and that it's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. Then go get your car out the tow yard. It's leaving the fall the fuck alone, bitch. Now he has to pay $275 to get his car back. Kanye shrugged. The next day, she wanted me to cover the towing fee, and I told her I'd be more than happy to split the difference if she covered my parking tickets first and the next month's parking fee since I could not use the space. She says I am blackmailing her and I have gone too far with the towing. Right now, the atmosphere in our place is super awkward and tense. I don't know, maybe I could have tried calling one more time, but I feel like I paid for the spot and I wanted to use it. Plus, I've asked them both many times and neither cared to reimburse me for the costs I incurred when they blocked my spot. What is my next step? Your next step is to sit them down and say, I want you motherfuckers to understand something. When I say don't park in my spot, bitch and motherfucker, that's what I mean. So from now on, when I come home from work, if your bitch ass car is in my spot, I'm towing that shit every goddamn time. Do you hear me? That's what's gonna happen. Now, either you stop parking in my spot or prepare to unask $275 every time that you do that. That's it. That's it. That's all that's happening. I have no more conversation about it. I'm not going to call you to move your car. I'm not going to ask you to move your car. You know, what time I get home from work, have your shit out my spot or prepare to get the shit towed. That's it. That's it. That's all. Then I get up and go in my room. Now, you ask me what would Deb do? That's what Deb would do. And I would have done that after the first time. Because, you know, when you was down there driving around looking for spots and stuff, I wouldn't have done that. I would have went up, parked my car behind his, went up and beat on that door, said, get downstairs and move your goddamn car. I need to park in my spot. And they'd be like, oh, no, no, no. I said, either you move it or it's going to get towed. But either way, I'm going to park in my spot tonight. And that's just it. I'm not playing with you motherfuckers. I pay $200 a month for that shit. You don't pay for shit. So you don't get to have a say. Get your shit and move it or it's going to be towed. That's it. Choice A and B. There ain't no other ones. And then, you know, they like to dawdle and all that stuff and be like, you better be down there in 5 minutes or I'm calling them. That's what I would do. I would not be playing with these people because see that people don't take you seriously and think you don't mean it until you take action. So now that you've taken action, now you have to stay on it. So if he parks in there again, do the same thing. Don't call them ever again. Just call the tow company and have it towed every single time. He'll get tired of coming up with $300 and then he'll stop parking his car there. Or she'll be mad if she can move. I mean, that works too. Either way is fine with me. Okay, so who wants to see my new intro again? This was the debut of it. It aired today. I just made this new thing. I finished it just earlier today. Took me a couple of days to get together, but here.
Been a pattern for the last 2 years or so. Once these girls they say my fiance, it's a wrap on anything the pursuit does is stupid, any kind of abuse, any
Yes, that's our new intro. So you guys are going to be enjoying that at the start of every show. I just had to show it again because I just love it so much. It's like I tried to time it to the music. I did a lot of work on that thing. So I was patting myself all over the back, all over the back. So that's what we're going to be seeing on the show from here on out. The old one with Leandra said with the baby doll rolling her eyes. Yes, Gustavius. I'm glad you caught that. See, I put that in. I said, I wonder who's gonna be the first one to catch that I said Gustavius Nim. Mo, get it, you win the prize. You win the prize for being the first one to see that. All right, so that's it for tonight's show. We'll be back on Sunday, hopefully. I'm feeling better finally. I think the antibiotics, I don't know, I mean, they work, but I don't know about y'all, but antibiotics just wipe me out. I just feel like it's like you be so sick, you feel like you're dying. And then you take the antibiotics, you still feel like you're dying, even though it's killing the original death causing thing. But in the end, you be 2 weeks feeling like you're about to die. And then finally you turn the corner and then you get your energy back. So that's where I am. And hopefully you guys will be what you say, be here on Sunday. Sunday shows are a little earlier. They're at 4 instead of at 6. So I'll see you on Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific time to 7 if you're on the East Coast.